Mr Speaker, I must start today with the shocking failure of the government to first inform this House about the proposal to give away the strategically vital Chagos Islands. The government should have waited a few days until Parliament was sitting, or waited a few weeks until the Mauritius election was over, and told this House first. They show total contempt for Parliament. So will the Leader take this opportunity to apologise to the House now and explicitly commit that this will never happen again? The Chagos proposal is shocking, paying to give away sovereign territory to a country allied with China, who might be allowed to place military or intelligence assets near the Diego Garcia base. Downgrading a sovereign base to merely a leased base, and leases can of course be terminated, and ignoring the Chagos Islanders themselves. In opposition, we will oppose these plans every step of the way. But will the Leader now expressly confirm to the House that there will be a bill on these proposals and there will be a crag vote on the treaty itself? And can she tell the House when? Mr Speaker, members across the House are horrified by the government's callous plan to strip the winter fuel payments from most pensioners, including 84% of those in poverty. Now, the government refused to provide the Equalities Impact Assessment in response to a written parliamentary question from one of my colleagues. But just a few days after the vote, they then slipped out that assessment via a Freedom of Information request. That denied members of Parliament the chance to see that impact assessment before voting, presumably because the government wanted to disguise from their own backbenchers the fact that over 70% of disabled pensioners will lose their winter fuel payments. The failure to disclose key information to this House appears to me to be a breach of section 1.3d of the Ministerial Code. So firstly, will the Leader apologise to the House for hiding that information before the critical vote? And will she ask the independent adviser to investigate this as a potential breach of the Ministerial Code? And if she won't, then I will. Mr Speaker, the public up and down the country are horrified at the Prime Minister's insatiable and venal appetite for freebies, more than any other MP in the last 5 years, totalling over £100,000. Designer suits, £1,000 spectacles, pop concerts, stays in an £18 million penthouse, all paid for by Lord Wahid Ali, who was rewarded with a Downing Street pass and influence over appointments. Not a government of service, a government of self-service, feathering its nest courtesy of Lord Ali's extremely capacious credit card. Is the Leader ashamed the Prime Minister has been doing this at the same time as stripping pensioners of their winter fuel allowance? He's paid back £6,000 of the £107. Can she explain why it's £6,000, and will he be paying back any more? Mr Speaker, finally, this weekend marks the 100 days since this Labour government was formed. And it's fair to say, well, I wouldn't get too excited. It's fair to say they have been busy, haven't they? A Chief of Staff has been fired. Millions of pensioners on low incomes have been stripped of their winter fuel allowance. Inflation-busting pay rises for train drivers and unions without any performance improvements in return. Schools in chaos as a result of the botched VAT plans that even the trade unions say should not be implemented in January. Many successful people, it turns out, are now leaving or planning to leave the country. And in the budget in a few weeks' time, it appears there are tax rises and ballooning borrowing coming as the debt rules are rewritten, all breaking election promises. Perhaps it's no surprise the Prime Minister's personal poll ratings have gone down faster than Lord Ali's bank balance after a shopping trip with the Cabinet. A recent poll showed the public actually now prefer the last government to this one. Mr Speaker, if they carry on like this, it won't just be Sue Gray who's in need of a new job.